The next section of the report is general stats, which, exactly as it says on the tin, it shows you some general stats about all the matches tracked. The topmost graph shows it split in time across the various weeks of the whatever time frame you entered. If there's very few matches tracked, or the time frame you entered is quite short, it'll show it, by match or by day. In my case, because I selected the whole season, it's dividing it by weeks, and the same will be true for all of the line graphs coming up in the different sections of the report. Hovering over this bar graph, you can see that in week 12, the system tracked 8 matches. 2 of them were losses, 6 of them were wins, and so forth. The next section, the summary stats, has just a bunch of summary stats of the more important sections that are still to come. Right, it shows you how many percentage of your matches you've won, 63%, very nice. The number of wins and losses, what map we played the most, Villa, your KD ratio for the whole team on average, KPR, which is kills per round, so the average number of kills per round that we take, our KOST percentage, so kills, objectives, survived, or traded, so how effective you were in any particular round. So in this case, in 62% of rounds, we were, effective in working towards our end goal of winning the match. In 37.84% of our attack rounds, we managed to get the diffuser down. That's very high, so that's really good. We often work, towards the objective rather than going for kills. SRV is the percentage of rounds in which we survived. This is an average of the 3 players. Headshot percentage is the number of kills we got with a headshot divided by the total number of kills we got. This is 46.6%. Is about average. Is an indicator of our mechanical skill. And then the trade difference in the entry plus minus. I'll get more into what these are when we get to those sections, but obviously the trade difference, you want it to be a positive number so that you have the man advantage more than you have the man disadvantage. And the entry plus minus, again, you want this to be a positive so that after the first entry engagement, you have the man advantage. These numbers are not great for us, again, because we are generally not the entry fragger. That's more the other 2 players that are in our team generally. This graph shows you the attack and defense round win percentages over time. As you can see, generally defense round win percentages are better. We're better at defending. This is changing now with the meta kind of changing as well. So I expect the attack round win percentage to go up over the defense one in the coming season. It's a very simple indicator of which one you're better at, really. The average match MMR graph shows you the average MMR of the enemy team versus the average MMR of your team. This is the total team, so not just the 3 players that have added into this report, but the entire 5 players per match, and then averaged out, per day or even per week, as it is right here. So as you can see, we had a couple weeks there where on average we played enemies that were higher ranked than us, and then we've had a couple weeks where the opposite's been true. You can also see that over the course of the season we've definitely increased our rank, and we're more towards where I think where we should be in terms of like we win 50% of our matches, which means we have good matches, right? The final graph here splits your matches up into what team color you were. Obviously, if you're orange team, you always start on defense, and if you're blue team, you always start on attack. There's still this bug in the game where whenever I queue the game, I'm almost always orange team. I've reported this several times, and Ubisoft hasn't done anything to it. But as you can see here, 40 out of the 41 matches tracked, I started on orange, and only 1 I started on blue. For most people, though, this should be much more balanced, and it could be an indicator like, okay, if you win 56% of your matches when you're in orange and only 45% of your matches when you're on blue, it could be an indicator that you are more comfortable on defense, and so something to work on is your attacks, right? The bottom table here is the players that you've played most with. Obviously, I selected 3 players in my report, myself and 2 friends. So there's going to be 2 additional players in each match, and these all add up to those, right? Or some randoms. Um, if you select 5 people for the report, then this table won't be here because every single match you played with those 5 people, so there's no randoms to play with, right? This can be interesting to see, okay, who you've played with that actually performed really well and might be somebody to, invite and play with more often. Keep in mind, though, that as you go down this graph, which by default is sorted by matches played, you get lower or more extreme numbers as, you can't really measure somebody's performance by a single match played, right? This table and any other table you find in this report, you can just simply click on the heading to sort by that heading, right? So I've now sorted by match win percentage from uh, descending and now ascending. I can sort, alphabetically. I can sort by KOST or SRV. By default, it's matches played. And that's the general stats section.